On today's episode, we sat down with Prasanta Kalita. I'm sorry I butchered the last name. Prasanta is an internationally known professor at the University of Illinois. There he is a professor of agriculture and biology engineering. He has been recognized on the international and national level for his profound educational development and his extensive work around the globe of food production and water quality. But he teaches more than just his two fields of agriculture and biology. Prasanta is a teacher of life, and more importantly, he is a blazing fire of positivity in a world full of dark negativity. We hope you enjoy this episode and find it as eye-opening and inspiring as me and my co-host. Thank you for watching. Enjoy.
All right. 3. Welcome back to the Just Living Podcast, episode 19. We here joined with Prasanta. He is tell him what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Prasanta Kalita. I'm a professor here in the College of Engineering at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And I have just completed 25 years of teaching here. But and I can retire any time, but then I have no other life. So I just...
Yes, that's insane. He says he's been to how many countries?
Oh, not too many, only 89.
Only 89.
Only 89.
Throughout your 25 years of teaching, how much has it changed?
Oh, a lot. A lot of things have changed. And, many years ago, you can probably tell, I love to teach, right? And I have taught not only at the University of Illinois, but also internationally. I have established good teaching program. I have established Center for Teaching Excellence, in many countries in Asia, Africa, South America.
Wow.
They teach, but the students don't learn. So there is a huge difference between teaching and learning.
Yeah.
So only in the U.S. we emphasize learning more than teaching. So, and there are a lot of theories, and I went through those. And eventually, I think the U.S. government gave me money to travel and help them establish. So I established 2 centers for teaching excellence in India.
Wow.
And and they are doing excellent now. And all you have to one in China, all there now they are doing. You have to show them the rope, and they know how to climb. Yeah?
Right.
People are all smart everywhere, but they just don't know. They think teaching means you go to the class and give a lecture, 50 minutes. Usually, all over the world, the classes are 50 minutes. So, and then you talk, and and then give an exam, and then give tough questions, and then give questions that you don't even know the answer.
Right.
That's usually many professors do it that way. Which is, to me, is not a right practice. So over the years, I have seen, when I was in the beginning, young professor, there wasn't much emphasis on good teaching, because we do research. Our job is to do very innovative research. Like my work is water sustainability, climate change, and all those kind of things. So we have to do those kind of things. That's where your performance is evaluated every year based on how many papers you publish, how much money you brought from other external to the university, and how many graduate students you graduated, how many PhD, doctorate, masters, and all out there. But it's kind of a double-edged sword that when the funding went down, because U.S. government is now spending less money on education, as you know, it's a well-known fact.
I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
Can you move the mic just a little closer?
A little bit.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Can you hear?
Oh no, we can hear you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Oh sure, yeah, maybe, yeah. Okay. Anyway, so so it's good now.
Oh, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's the camera. Is recording it.
You don't have to look at it. Doesn't matter.
Okay, good, because I don't know what to
Nope.
look at here,
Yeah.
to look at here,
Nope.
or look at anyway.
Anywhere you want.
Forget there's a camera.
Forget there's a
Just
camera.
don't turn
Okay,
around.
Okay. So now what are we talking? We're talking about, you asked the question, how over the years the teaching had changed. So, now the parents are putting a lot of emphasis on the university that we send our kids and we pay a lot of money. You better teach good.
Yeah.
I think there's a root. And I think that parents are the root of a lot of the problems because you can.
Yeah, well, I don't want to tell in front of two students whose parents are probably will be paying and all out there. Myself was a parent, for a student. I told you I have a son who graduated in mechanical engineering from the university here. Now he works in Virginia. But, you cannot blame the parents. You will. Right now you're in a smaller place like Villa Grove or Champaign and Illinois. When you get out, like you look at from 35,000 feet above, it's different.
Completely.
Now you just all your data is from that school.
Right.
One school that you go to, one group of friends and one group of parents that,
Yeah.
and Karens, that you see all the time, right? Well, I learned that yesterday. Quinn told me about what is the Karen means.
Really?
Yeah. So, and today I used it, and he said, "You're a good learner, Prasanta." So anyway, it's not parents' fault or teachers' fault. It's just the way things are evolving.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
money is tight.
Right.
And if your kids go to school and they don't end up getting a job and a good education, and that's not how you anticipate looking at the college.
Yeah.
What
I'd
I'm-
say that's another big problem with how the education system works is the amount of money that there is. It's not distributed evenly
Properly.
at all.
Yeah.
No?
There are
Like-
some places that get fractions of what other schools have, and that puts those kids at such a disadvantage.
And I was
know.
thinking about it today. It's like the same thing with defunding the police. If you pay the police less, they're gonna not do a great. You want to fund them
Yeah.
to do a better job,
Yeah.
How
correct?
can you not have police?
Right.
I
So
mean,
it's this.
we all have life, right? Oh, my
So
God.
it's the same thing with teachers. If you don't fund them properly, they're not going to teach properly. They're not going to be
Exactly.
involved in their job.
Exactly. A little bit of history, and there wasn't public universities before Ab Lincoln.
Yeah.
There wasn't. I don't know how much you know about the public university higher
Inform
education
me.
system. So there, it used to be all those Ivy League schools, like
Right.
in the East Coast. There was no West Coast at that time, kind of. So and then who used to go to the school? Only the rich and elites
Right.
and their children. They go there. When Abraham Lincoln, he was the president, in 1861 through 65 during that time. Yeah, I don't want to say too much about that time because that may be wrong. But somewhere around 1863. So then there was a senator from Vermont. And he and President Lincoln worked together to create public university for the children of common people like you and I. Children of common people. Because there are many in the rural areas in all over, but they don't have the money
Right.
to go to those Ivy League schools. So the president signed a law called, I think it's called Morrill Act, because Morrill was the senator. So they said every state of the 50 states of the United States should give land. And then the state, the federal government, it was federal land. The federal government gave the land, and the state will build the university. And this is how University of Illinois was built.
That's
So-
just another reason to love Abe Lincoln.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
a
I know.
president.
And most
My
people.
goodness,
What
if
what
we
a
did
good
not
president.
have Abraham Lincoln, I will not be here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And I didn't know that. I had no
Yeah.
idea.
What a great president.
Yeah.
So what he did, at least So there are some states have more than one, but started with one, at least one university, and it should have been free for everybody.
Right. Yeah.
But you know how things go.
Yes.
And so now everything costs money. To hire more professors, building labs and buildings and all these things. So somebody told me, and don't quote me on that one. Someone told me that it used to be like $10 per semester.
Oh.
And now it's how many $10 you have
Yeah.
to give,
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah.
So the essence of public is called land grant university. University of Illinois is a land grant university, and every state has one. In Indiana is Purdue.
Yeah.
In Iowa State University. In the Wisconsin, it's University of Wisconsin. In New York, there is like Cornell is part of
Yeah.
the land grant and like that. They have every state one university, but
Do they still get a lot of funding?
they
from the
still
government?
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we still get a lot of funding.
Lots of funding.
But the costs have
Yeah.
also skyrocketed
yeah.
very
Inflation.
high. So as a reason, the federal the ratio of federal funding and the spending has totally changed.
Yeah.
So that's why now I think, and I hear this from all the university big administrators. We are at a point that universities, the public, the common people for whom these universities are built, they are at a point almost not able to afford their kids.
Yeah.
Look at, you're going to community college.
Yes.
I always tell people, best thing is go to community college
Right.
for 2 years and then transfer. You save a lot of money. But they have advantages and disadvantages.
Yes.
The one of the disadvantage of community college is, when you, let's say, you don't get this whole group of friends and students that in universities are a little larger.
Yeah.
And they have more challenges that you can study. Then if you transfer after that, you have only 2 years.
Right.
And it's very difficult socially to be accepted with
Right.
the student fraternities out
Yeah.
there. So, but, I think still is a good thing. Don't get discouraged if you or any parents cannot afford, or any student, to go to a land grant university. Just start with a community college. I have one of my students. He's a professor now, like the one that
Yeah,
I
you
was
told me about
telling.
him.
Yeah, he's a professor.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and also started
With enough hard work, you can get yourself anywhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a significant saving, that community
For
college
sure.
tuition versus
Yeah.
the university.
My tuition for 1 year is $5,000,
yeah.
and I got FAFSA, so it's
FAFSA,
covered.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
Very nice. We have all those federal programs,
Mhm.
but the University of Illinois, our tuition is close to $20,000.
Yeah. Student loans is a big problem in the U.S.
Plus, we have, we fight every year not to increase the tuition. Every year,
Really?
like 3-4%.
So who are you fighting against in that?
With the government.
The government.
Yeah, with the
Okay.
state government,
they-
state legislature.
are you serious?
They fix it.
Yeah.
They fix the price.
They
Wow.
fix the price.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
they fix it. They have to whatever you do it. Let's say your expenses is $100, to
Right.
maintain and everything, and then they so we can only give you $80. Where will you get the $20?
Yeah, gotta
Yeah.
get it from the
Yeah.
students.
So then.
Wow.
So
Huh.
that's how. It,
Well, that's something that I'm kind of against, at least not in principle, but the amount of foreign aid that we're sending
Yes.
to other countries,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of domestic issues here that we're just
Don't
completely
tell me
ignoring.
that. Oh my gosh! And when we got into don't get me wrong. We should support Ukraine and all that
Yeah.
thing. But when our trillions of dollars is
Yeah.
going
Right.
here,
Yep.
and my local students, they are not being able to
They can't afford
going
groceries.
to college.
Yeah.
They can't afford, not even just college itself.
Housing.
People can't afford
Yep.
groceries.
Exactly. And you know what? Nobody thinks about it.
Yeah.
No.
No political party thinks about it. They will only say that before election.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
To
Whatever
get the votes.
works in
Exactly.
their
They don't
best
care.
all
interest.
just
So
it's all just
party
big
A, B, C, D,
distractions. Yeah.
they're all, they fight and then they go and have a dinner together.
They're all
and then
yeah,
cheer.
we talked
hey,
about
thanks,
this.
buddy.
Yeah.
They're all controlled by the same people.
Thankful
Yeah.
because
Yep.
you opposed to my policy.
Yep. Yeah.
Keep doing this.
Yeah.
So
we think
It's
that
like
they're
the
all
lawyers.
we think that they're all just controlled by some corporation.
High.
Just money. They're all controlled
Yeah.
by
They're
money.
all of it's controlled by money.
They are.
Money's
but
evil.
the problem is, U.S. wasn't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
When I came to United States in 1988, I used to write letters to my father and said, Papa, this is like heaven. People don't lie, people don't fight, they argue, and they bring out the best of an issue and they solve it.
We've completely lost sight of that.
We lost it.
Completely.
We
There
lost
is no
it.
more middle
Yeah.
ground.
There is no,
No
middle.
more.
People
There's
don't
only
argue.
extremes.
People don't, like even my department.
Well, people
here.
don't. People still argue these days, but they don't argue to find a compromise. They
Yes.
argue to prove that they're right.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They argue that they are right and you are
Yes.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
It's a win-lose type
Yeah.
of thing.
It's
I
and,
think it's all just become sports teams.
Yeah, kind
terrible.
of. Yeah.
US wasn't like that.
Right.
I witnessed it myself in
Yeah.
the department meeting, and
What do
there
you
is
think caused it?
well, I blame it on too much information.
Really?
Because too much in the sense in all the social media, in all the internet.
Yeah.
Because now people say, well, in some country A, B, C, D, in a continent Z, D, H, they do that. Why cannot we do? Why do we have to work hard?
Okay.
I think US people are losing that concept on which this country was based on. Hard work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
ethics, honesty. Every whole package wasn't there. I have traveled since I was a kid everywhere. I haven't seen things like that.
Right.
But now we are becoming one of those countries.
Yeah.
And I feel bad that, oh my gosh, I wish
'Cause-
let them get bad, but only after I die.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Wow,
So-
screw us, I guess.
But you know what? Never give up hope
Yeah.
because things always go in a cycle. Things always go in a cycle. This might be, not this year or this election, this or next one or whatever. I'm not referring to what I said. As a whole human cycle that we go over, and from a good point to the middle ground to the low point. So when we are at a low point, I think I learned to be happy. You know why? Because it's
gonna change.
Yeah, it's the wheel of fortune.
Right.
When it's a low point, that means it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be very scared when we are at the highest point.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
from high point you
There's
can
a
only
crash.
go
Yeah.
low, right? So and then I think the biggest part that someone has to play or take the role will be you guys, young people. They will be the one that bring it back.
Yeah.
And I think the system is there. People individually, these countries still individually, they're all very nice people with good intention.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I don't know.
We're divided.
Yeah.
The reason is that we don't realize that the enemy is the political parties.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
the political parties don't want us to think that. So they use the media, they use all this to pin the people on each other.
Yep.
That's exactly why there's only two parties. You
Ah,
either
yeah.
a Republican or a Democrat, and there is no middle.
There is no middle ground.
One side
Yeah.
has to be right and one side has to be wrong.
And it's
Exactly.
destroying.
We'll be millionaires.
Is something.
Yeah, something. Maybe not million. Not the. See, I think honestly, a big problem of today is people are too focused on trying to live, and they're not focused on trying to survive. Because there's a big difference between like living and surviving. People will just be reckless with their money, and they'll have kids and live in I would call them like ghettos or just poor areas, but they have these iPhone 15s and all these newest gadgets. Well, you got to focus on at least what's important. You got to focus on building yourself up and realizing that when you're at the bottom, at least like financially wise, you can't afford what everyone else has.
I think people have become too much materialistic.
Extreme.
And very coddled. Like a lot, like there's no fear, like
They are
you
not
live
afraid
so
of any consequence.
right. Yes,
That's what
exactly.
you're saying.
Yes,
yeah. Oh, I don't care what's
Right.
gonna happen. I don't have money. That's fine.
Yeah.
Something will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll live off
I'll live
financial aid
off.
for the
Yeah,
year.
I'll live off.
Exactly.
Food, I'll just have food stamps my whole life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is the thing. People, it's called loss of accountability. And
There's just no more accountability
no
anymore.
more. I have seen that. I have seen that on our campus itself. It's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. So.
But
very
what you're
sad.
doing now with your studies on water and climate change.
Okay. Well, okay. I am one of a group of professors on this campus that deal with water. And there are several issues of water. So, first of all, water is not a renewable thing, right? There's a finite quantity of water.
Fresh water.
Fresh water, ocean water, all that.
Just all the water.
All the water.
Okay.
Even ocean water is increasing.
Yeah.
So
Right.
water only moves from one to another. Today maybe in the sky, rain.
Right.
Tomorrow they'll be up on here. Next day that water might be in the river.
Yeah.
And then few years from now it'll be, or 10,000 years from now, there will be in the deep in the ocean.
Right.
Somewhere there. Or after several more thousand years, they will be up on those ice cubes in Alaska.
Yeah. Right.
Something like this. So
Yeah.
water keeps moving, right? So the only right now, less than 3% of the water that we have on this planet is usable.
Right.
This is what you probably learned that in the school as
Is
well.
a big part of that due to pollution?
No.
But
No,
Is it
because-
just too salt? Just
yeah,
salt
because
water?
it's
Okay.
salty water. Because it's salt water out there.
Is there
and-
processes to convert that? Convert
Yes,
salt water to
yeah,
fresh?
You're
Is it
asking the questions that I want to say. A little bit more. Excellent. Yeah, see, because it's 97% water is not usable. The traditional ways of people saying not usable, but I personally think that is a wrong teaching. Somebody says that the impossible is a word only the cowards say that. Everything is possible. You
Right.
have to put your mind
Yeah.
there. And human brains are the most intellectual living thing on this planet.
right?
They have solved. Come on, if we have been to all these places, Moon or Mars, and we solve all those disease and everything, the human are doing something good.
Right.
And so I tell my students, when you learn in your high school or in the college, in the hydrology class which I teach, that less than 3% water is usable and others are not, do not believe that anymore. Because you need to go and see, go to Israel, go to Tel
Right.
Aviv. They are surrounded by, desert and ocean. They use their 60 to 70% of the total water uses from ocean, from
Wow.
desalination.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Because
then
it's the only way they can
Yeah.
get it.
the only way to get it. Right now, it is expensive, and only the rich countries can afford that,
Right.
like Saudi Arabia and other
Yeah.
Middle Eastern countries. Those who have their economies are better because they have a lot of natural resources,
Lot of
like
oil.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of oil and all the thing. So they can afford it, and our university also working with Saudi Arabia, helping them, refining the process. And Japan is doing that, but Japan also has fresh water. So hopefully within, my data shows that 10 years ago, for each gallon of water that you desalinize from ocean, used to cost you several dollars. But now, 10 years later, now it's less than $1.
Really?
Wow, nice.
What does that tell? We are
It's going
making
down.
progress.
Right. Yeah.
So hopefully in 50 years, everybody will be able to afford that. This poor
Will it
African
have
countries.
any negative impacts on the ocean environments, though?
That is a very debatable. It's a very, very good question. People are saying what happens when you take the water
Right.
and take the water and the salt, you put the salt back there, and so does it mean that the salt concentration will be?
Yeah, because isn't there like a Red Sea or something that's so densely salted that nothing?
It's in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
I was there. That's the only place where I could swim because I cannot swim.
Yeah, you can swim.
But it's called what's the name of that? Oh my goodness! I have a picture, a mini picture. So it's so high, 30%. 30% is the salt concentration.
Wow.
So you will never.
You're so buoyant.
You will never
Yeah.
drown there.
Yeah.
So any way you do, you'll be up there. It's very high concentration of salt.
When you get out of that water, do you feel like scaly or anything?
I
No.
don't all in. They have freshwater shower
Okay,
next to
yeah.
it. So, but it's a great experience that I think everyone should have it at once in their life. That place. So but coming back to what is that doing to the ocean ecosystem? Is it good? A lot of people are working on that. It's a good research. People are working and they're looking at not only the salt concentration, but also things that live, the microorganisms and others, the animals that live in ocean, or how it is doing. But the good thing is people are waiting to pass any judgment because they want more data.
Yeah,
We
that's
need,
good.
Yeah.
like the oceans are occupying 75% of our Earth's surface.
Yeah.
So you need a lot of data, a lot of
Right.
experiments, different way, a long-term experiments. So the belief is it will probably not be too devastating. But then again, every time you find a new thing to solve a problem, there is always a challenge comes out of it.
Right.
Every opportunity
Oh, yeah.
creates challenges,
Yes.
right? Look at the human population. Right now we have 8.5 billion people on this planet. And first thing what we need every day, food
Water.
to eat.
Food?
A lot of
Food
mouths
to
to
eat.
feed,
Yeah.
not a lot of land.
Not
And
a-
the thing is, the more people, the more houses you're going to need, the more land you're going to need for housing, less land you got for food.
Every year we are losing we are more than 1% of the land everywhere in this country.
Yeah.
And the agricultural land is disappearing.
Yeah.
So how are we still able to survive? Because our scientists or the farmers, they do a much better way to produce more food in little
yeah.
land.
Yeah.
That you can probably see how
Yes.
Champagne, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can tell you a little bit about our history of Champagne. Where are our soil? Why we have water like 3 feet below out there. So yeah, remind me that. So I'll tell you that. So that food production takes let's say we have fresh water, only 3% usable. 70% goes in food production.
Wow.
People don't
Wow.
realize that.
Yeah.
People don't realize that.
Yeah.
And other 30% is divided for drinking water.
Right.
Divided between 8.5 million people.
Billion.
Billion.
Billion, yeah, my
Billion.
bad.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
other is divided, So now by 2060, we'll have another 2 billion people coming. Another 2 billion.
Yeah.
So that means we have to produce more. We have to produce 66% more
Everything.
food.
Yeah.
That's what the FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations, based in Rome, is their forecast. They have the hi-fi scientists. We need, by 2060, we have to produce 66% more food.
Wow.
Even now, we are facing water shortages.
Right. Yeah.
How are we going to do that? Plus, all the people will have 2 billion people, they'll have more houses.
More food, more
And
water.
then you all know we need industries are coming up. Industry need a lot of water.
Yeah.
So that's the I work in that.
Okay.
How do we distribute? Many years ago, I almost got between crossfight between what was that? In Syria and Lebanon.
Really?
Me and my graduates and Joe Monickel from Purdue, we both were there. But anyway, maybe I should not say too much about those things. But we are safe out there. But problem that we had. So people will fight on water.
Yeah.
Even in America, there are so many lawsuits between states, Nebraska and Kansas, Colorado, New Mexico, California. They're fighting for
California is
California.
really bad, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
That's why their wildfires are
Yes.
going
Yeah.
crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
unbelievable.
So the lot of factor. Maybe climate change might be one factor. Precipitation, rainfall pattern is a factor. Human destruction of forest is another problem.
Right.
So all those kind of things are making a dent in our sustainability.
Yeah. I was wondering about climate change because that's a big topic right now. I'm curious because it seems like it's end all be all is what media kind of, well, to me, that's my opinion. That's the way I look at it. I don't think it is. I think it, from what I'm seeing on the media and then what I think about is it's a cycle. Like you said, the water cycle. The earth goes through it gets hotter, gets cooler before we were here. So do you think that obviously we're doing negative things to the environment, but how negative is it?
That's a very good question. I often wondered about that myself. I said, we are at maybe if people say that because of climate change we are at a low point, but maybe it'll come back.
Right.
I mean, we didn't know 1,000 years ago how the climate was, how the weather was,
exactly.
right? And nobody knows those because nobody started getting data.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's wise for people to wait until we get some data,
Right.
the real data,
Right.
experiment
Yeah.
people, and not only from Champaign
Right.
or from Carbondale, maybe everywhere.
Yeah.
What's happening in the entire continent of Africa or Asia or
Right.
South America or let's get more data. But I'm very hopeful that now at least people are working.
Yeah.
People are working.
A lot of people are paying attention.
Yeah, there is a scientist at the University of Chicago. This person used to teach at Harvard or Yale, in one of those universities. When he was young, one time he saw the volcanic ash in
Was
Philippines.
it Mount St. Helens?
Yeah, no, Mount St. in Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Philippines
Sorry.
had a lot of volcanoes. Yeah, Mount St. Have you been there?
No.
I've been there. Yeah, I have been to all 50 states of America.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
So,
What's your favorite?
Huh?
What's your favorite?
Oh, Champagne.
Yeah, really?
No, for me, I think I love San Diego.
Really?
Because it's warm and good seafood. I like fish.
My dad grew up there. He
Really?
loves it. He
It is.
loved it.
It is. It's so bright,
Yeah.
beautiful, good food, and a lot of seafood out there. So yeah, I think San Diego is. But in my world, my best place, I would say, would be in Australia.
Really?
Really? I've always wanted to go to New Zealand.
Yeah, New Zealand, and I will be there in a couple of years for about 6 months.
Wow.
Wow.
But the best place that I like is, if you're in Sydney, standing next to the big opera house, and then you look at the water, you can see all the way to the down.
Wow.
Because that means the water is so clean.
Yeah.
So clean.
You see the little
Wow.
fishes and all
That's
out there.
amazing.
I said, oh my goodness,
I
what
couldn't
a beauty.
imagine that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
That's
and,
so
you know,
beautiful.
And New Zealand, I've been there as well. In Auckland and in Hamilton and all those places. the black sand beach and all those
yeah.
beautiful. What was that movie that they did it in, the kids movie that in New Zealand?
Lord of the Rings
No, is
or
it
The Hobbit.
Hobbit.
Yeah.
So we went there to see all those little things
that's
out
so
there,
cool.
So, but so one example of that things are changing. Whether
Yeah.
climate change, the name has been upgraded to political.
Yeah.
Yes, for
People
sure.
now, if you say climate change, a lot of people, they just shut their mind.
Yeah,
They don't
because
want
they
to.
turn it into a left-right issue where
Yep.
if you're on the right side, you have to say it's completely fake.
Exactly.
Nothing's happening. And if you're on the
Exactly.
left side, you have to say it's the worst issue. It's going to kill us all.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground on climate change.
Exactly.
And then back to it. Everyone wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
And no one
It's
wants
so
to lose.
sad. Because, of course, like every other issue, the correct answer is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Correct answer is where you look for it.
Right.
You have to look for the right
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Here, if you go and talk to our farmers in Champaign County, they will tell you what challenges they're facing
Right.
in climate change. But, they're farmers. Why should we go and talk to them? They
Right.
don't know anything. We underestimate people's
That is,
talent.
That is true.
That's part of the reason why I want to do this podcast, because I want to have the normal people's voice out there.
Exactly. So, I have been collecting precipitation, snowfall, and rain data. It's part of my research and our whole group, a few people that we work out there. So here we have seen in Champaign County, now the number of precipitation means the rain, snow,
Yeah.
and all that. The events have decreased. The number has decreased.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's say if we had X number of precipitation in 1900, now we have probably X minus something.
Yeah.
Wow.
But has that decreased the precipitation total amount? No. It hasn't changed that. We get about the same amount of precipitation
Right.
that we got many, many years ago. So what's the difference? Now, those few events that
They're
we
just
get
a lot
comes a
worse.
very high intense rain.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what causes flooding.
Yes. Yeah. Flash flooding. Yep.
So you go to the farmer, they know,
Right.
right after they plant in May, their corn and soybean, their fields are flooded.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something that caused that?
Yeah, the high intensity soil can only take water at certain rate.
No,
Right.
do you think there's something that caused there to be
The change in
less
precipitation.
or less precipitation?
What's the
events,
difference from
but higher density when it does happen?
Right.
Why it has happened?
Yeah.
It's part of the change, part of the whole the interactions of planets and subplanets and everything that is happening. And nobody can tell you. Well, people say it's because
Of this
the,
or that.
we got into warmer trends. The planet is getting warm, and we have a lot more carbon dioxide concentrations, which causes the temperature rise on
rise,
the
yeah.
atmosphere. Global warming, that's another controversial term out there. So, some places are getting warmer, some places are getting colder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
Aren't we in a, like right now, globally speaking, aren't we in
In
an
the ice age.
no.
We're not?
No.
Oh, I was lied to.
I was lied
I was
to.
lied to at school, then that's where I was
but
taught.
Yeah, well-
Sometimes high school teachers, they love to say those kind of things. And I said, what the heck you get that idea? My goodness, no.
Well, but wouldn't it be more scary to be in an ice age? Wouldn't it be more scary for cooling rather than warming?
Oh, both ways, my friend. I don't want either one.
Right.
Either one.
Yeah.
So we have, you might think that cooling might be better than the warming.
I don't think so.
No. Have you seen that movie that Jack Gyllenhaal was a little kid? What was the name of that movie? He went to New York and then suddenly everything was frozen.
I don't know.
Oh gosh, who was his father? But anyway, I can never remember the name. Yeah, watch that. I think it's called Tomorrow.
Oh.
The movie called Name Tomorrow or Does the Future, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of places aren't prepared for the cold at all. Like
Yeah.
Texas,
Yeah.
It was either last year or 2 years ago where they just had a sudden big, cold
Everything
surge.
froze.
Their power grid They couldn't handle it all.
Yeah.
Completely shut off.
Charlotte, North Carolina, they don't have any snow shoveling machine there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, when that snow, California has just faced that problem too. So, but you know, I'm not worried about those little things. Texas people will survive. You know?
Yeah.
Human are the most resilient thing on this
Yeah,
planet.
I feel
they will, whenever there is a problem, they will work maybe 20 years they will be down, but then they will come up.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they're like grasses in the winter time. You know, they will all die, but the spring comes, they will come beautiful. Human always do that. So that's why we have to be very positive about our capabilities and all. We will not be extinct. We'll be, but then when you get too hot or warm, it changes the atmospheric pattern of the moisture.
Right.
And another example is what does the carbon dioxide, what is it doing? You know, carbon dioxide, if it is too much, first thing, it warm up the air. You know, that's what it. Second thing, all the exhaust from the industries and all, some part of the global world, when it's in the atmosphere, like let's say this is Singapore, and because they had the problem, and then here is the sun, and here is the atmosphere. So they had a big dark cloud.
Sun can't get through that layer. The rays can't get through that.
Look, if the solar radiation cannot reach the community of the earth, what kind of problem they will have?
Yeah.
You know,
that's going to cause a mass freezing, wouldn't it?
Not free. I mean, it doesn't get to that freezing.
It'd be
but you're there.
starving.
That evaporation is less.
Yeah.
You know, and then their plants cannot grow.
Yeah.
You know, you'll not have any photosynthesis and everything else out there.
Yeah.
And if that goes bigger and bigger and bigger, we all will face problem.
Yeah.
You know, growing food will be a problem. So, sorry, I was talking about this professor at University of Chicago. Gosh, what's his name? I was fascinated when I just recently read about it. The news came in, I think in September or in August. And then this example, he got it from his observation during a volcano in Philippines.
Yeah.
So he thought, there was a volcano, they continuously shoot all these volcanic ashes. And then the temperature for a duration of like week or weeks went down.
Yeah, because it's blocking out the sun. Yeah.
So he is now proposing, well, if we have a global...
no, I don't like that. I don't like that.
That's not
I don't
cool.
like that.
But
big
then,
old blanket in
we
the
said,
sky.
my goodness, I don't want you to spray ash, and how is that
Oh,
gonna...
he was saying straight ash?
Yeah.
Wasn't Bill Gates trying to come up with something like that as well?
Everybody has their own theory.
Right.
So it is now, I have to give him some credit for thinking about it. He thinks that if, whenever we talk about the temperature is rising, because every 1 degree temperature rise is going to cause negative problem, flooding and hurricanes and all those kind of things. So he said, if we spread those ashes out there, and then people say, is it not crazy?
That's pretty crazy.
What if it comes to our eyes and our skin and the trees and all?
Do we have recorded history of how bad that is? With, for instance,
it's
Mount
being-
St. Helens.
Yeah,
That was a tragedy
yes,
for the country.
But he isn't going to do that ash from Mount
He wants to
St.
do
Helens.
something like it.
What is the minimum amount that we can spray without harming a soul?
Right.
I mean, we all know, and if that is the answer, then this guy is a good scientist. He will, he will not become that famous by and then, and I just don't worry about whether he becomes famous or not. But I think if that works, let's see that,
Yeah.
we are not letting him spray ashes in Illinois or anywhere else. It has to be 100% safe, and it has to do that.
Right.
And that's what the scientists will do. They will experiment. They will do all those kind of things. So one example, that he's doing. I just don't want to shut him off. And that's what they did. Harvard and Yale say, But the University of Chicago say, come come here,
Yeah.
do this experiment here. We will fund you.
Yeah.
You know, so he's doing it here. Hopefully, who knows how many thousand of those kind of people we need
Right,
to come up
yeah.
with a solution
Yeah.
out there. So that is, those are, you know, the some global warming, some solutions, some water solutions, and water problem. But the biggest problem is water has two problems. One is the quantity and the quality.
Right.
Whatever water we have, the quality is getting bad.
Yeah.
Because, you know, only in the US we have strict regulations of, you know, the industries
Right.
cannot pump in the river and all of that. If every country behave like US, would be no problem.
Yeah,
but
but-
you know, water is all connected.
Yeah.
US
Countries like Japan are dumping their nuclear waste out in the water, and it's
Yeah.
currents taking it everywhere to the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what, you know, the world needs. That's
Right.
why we need global partnership.
We're all one.
We
you
are
know?
all in one.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that.
I think once there's an alien invasion, we'll understand that.
Well, yeah,
That'll bring
it's-
us together.
Hey,
It's
yeah.
like if you look back at the aftermath of 9/11, the country came together. It was very unified. So
we
when
need
tragedy,
things like
yeah,
that
exactly.
for people to be. I know somebody else
But
was
we-
telling me that. I said, you know, we don't want
No,
that,
no.
you know,
We want-
catastrophes to happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes those things,
They got their good sides too.
Yeah.
it
That's
is
not all
Tragedy.
bad.
It puts
Tragedy brings people together.
Yeah.
It does.
And-
I think it's the most connecting thing
Exactly.
probably ever.
And you know, I was in Senegal, and you know, it's a beautiful country, beautiful people, very hardworking.
Yeah.
But when I was traveling to an experimental station, my God, it's almost like their eyes, you know, it almost looks like they are growing plastics on the field. So much plastics, so many tons and tons of plastic in the entire agricultural land.
Yeah.
They are not growing any crop.
Yeah.
It's all plastics.
Plastic's terrible.
Yeah,
it
and
doesn't
ruins
it's
the
not
soil.
degradable.
And then who is eating? All the cows. I have pictured the cows going in the field
Eating.
and they're eating the plastics.
Wow.
And
And the
there's
little kids are gonna drink those milk.
And
yeah.
eat that meat.
There's already been studies that show that there's so much microplastic in our
Yeah.
bodies.
I know.
And a lot of our food, this is a big health issue that people just don't realize.
Fish.
But
Fish is huge.
a lot of our food,
Yeah.
especially for men, have plastics in them that the male body naturally turns into estrogen. So males are getting excess amounts of estrogen, which we already produce it naturally, but too much has all kinds of
Dire.
negative
You know,
side effects.
this is what our politicians should be looking
Right.
at.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But no, it's war. It's,
Yeah.
it's,
Money,
war
money,
is
money,
the
money.
biggest distraction to actually solving the problems that our country has.
Exactly.
Money.
Exactly.
It's all about
Ridiculous.
money.
Yeah.
Let's overthrow the
it
government.
is. So
The government's a business now. It's
somebody
not.
was telling me, oh, you know, my friend from he's a professor, retired in computer science. He's so genius. He does his research is, you know, if you send him an email from an unknown thing, that's what his research. He finds out computer
If it-
security where it came
Wow.
from.
Right.
So you know because of him we caught some scandal here at the University of Illinois a few years ago. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. But he told me that many of the airlines, because airlines, passenger planes, they produce so much
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
You know, they finally dumping it out in some countries like in Africa. Because in the US, they won't let them do it here.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have strict laws.
Yeah.
But they don't know that we are all connected.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there is no policy, and someone probably, you know, bribe the government there.
Right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
That happens all the time. I mean, it
Yeah,
happens
it's
here.
so sad. It's
Yeah.
so because
It happens here, but you know, when we talk about the bribery and corruption in another country, we are so much better. In the US, is so you know, I tell it to many of my US friends. They think, oh, it's corruption. I say, you don't know what corruption is.
Yeah.
I have seen that in India
Yeah.
and
Right.
in many other countries, the level of corruption. So, US, you know, no matter how frustrated we get it from our politicians and all, still people are a lot more honest.
Hmm?
Lot more honest, and then people.
Well, I think they have to be because they're just held to that standard. Like that's the one good thing about the system. You get voted in by the people.
Yeah.
So if you are caught lying,
Yeah.
and if you're caught taking all this insider information, briberies,
And
this
we have
and
the
that,
First Amendment right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, that
Yeah.
your information, you have anything.
But the scary thing
free
is,
speech.
there's some politicians trying to take that away.
Yeah.
It's,
I know.
It's
They'll never be
terrifying.
able to take
Yeah.
it away. They'll
Because of
never.
the Second Amendment.
Yeah, American citizen will not let it.
Yeah.
Whoever, nobody can take those. Those are human rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll
For
not
sure.
be able to take it away. So I don't know where we were talking about something, and now we are talking
I
about
know.
something. But that's all okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
totally garbage or anything.
No.
No,
I think
not
we
at
are
all.
talking
This is
something,
perfect.
Something very appropriate for
Yeah.
our people.
You
right
wanted
now.
us to come back to the history of Champagne.
Oh, yes, okay. Champagne used to be flooded land. It's not only Champagne. Illinois,
Yeah.
Indiana, Ohio, part of Wisconsin, Iowa, all these are,
Used to be a swamp, right?
it's been some and tall prairie grass. So this was the home of malaria.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's stories about back on Abraham Lincoln that he fought in some war with the natives, and he said
Wow.
the worst thing about the war was the mosquitoes.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, what was the turning point? So when we have all these states, America became one country. So then people they're trying to put the borders, and
Yeah.
they're trying to look
Water.
at where we should put roads and buildings and all. And there was an University of Illinois because
Right.
this was all water.
Right.
So the land surveyors from New York, they're on a mission, and many of them died. It's a long duration work. Started in East Coast, heading towards West Coast, looking at survey the land, and finding all the. When they came to Ohio, and they see, oh my gosh, these thousands and thousands of miles that we can see is all nothing but water and tall prairie grass and mosquito.
Yeah.
So they said, but think about it, the human thoughts. They said, only if we can drain this water.
Right.
How can it drain water? Normal people cannot think about it.
Yeah.
But that they had few Dutch people in that group. And that, Amsterdam, in the whole Netherlands, they live under the ocean water level.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. If you ever go to Amsterdam, you see they have dikes around
Okay.
the
Yeah.
ocean. So their water level in the ocean and their land level is right here.
So for people like those people, they are terrified of climate change, I'm sure. Because
Of course, they are. Yeah,
Yeah,
every minute.
Right.
If 1 centimeter of water level rises, it's gonna break their dikes and they're gonna inundate
Right.
and kill thousands and
Yeah.
millions of people. So coming back to, so they said, well, we need to drain this water. Then they did some survey. They say, yeah, there is a river. So, but here is a patch of water. Here is a big patch of water. We need to connect them and then, dig down to make it connect to the nearest river point, low point.
Yeah.
And then so they did it.
So
and
then it just
slowly,
flows to the river, and the river flows it out.
Yeah, probably took several hundred years.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But without that, you and I will not be here today.
Right.
And then they thought, there are still some. You cannot connect with the river, everything. So then they thought, we need to dig down and put some clay tile in the ground. So the clay tiles are like, because at that time, like 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, there was no plastic.
Right.
No PVC pipe.
Yeah.
So, but people knew with clay. They used to make pots and all
Yeah.
that. So they made clay tile, pipe, like about 6 inches diameter, and then make some hole and maybe 1 or 2 feet long. So they dig down the ground and put that thing and one next to one, another, until they found a low spot. So what that did, all the water slowly, now that There is a way
Yeah.
to take that floating water. It's not dripping, right?
Right.
It finally ends.
So that's why we have aquifers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're man-made aquifers.
These are not, aquifers are different.
Okay.
Aquifers are natural.
Okay.
Aquifer like
What? So they drained the water and it all went to the river and
all
out.
that water finally went into the river.
They just
Okay.
gave it some place to flow. And
Yeah.
it went nuts.
Yeah,
It
okay.
went nuts.
So, let's say in Illinois, people connected everything to our, let's say, Illinois River,
Yeah.
Wabash River,
Yeah.
and Ohio River, and finally all these rivers drain into the big, gigantic Mississippi.
Yeah.
So now, like every problem that you solve,
There's another.
create problem. What
Yeah.
big problem
Yeah.
that we created? Because now that you have all this, the water dripping, and our soils have a lot of fertilizers, nitrogen and phosphorus,
Right.
which in a different quantity people drink, it could have health problems,
Yeah.
right? That's what had happened. So that water now goes all the way to the Mississippi.
Oh, did it
Wow.
contaminated all
Has
the other
created
water?
the largest water quality problem
Ah.
in the whole world.
That's crazy.
But now, we are working on how to solve this problem.
Right.
Wow.
So what we are doing now, say, in Illinois we have a lot of ditches. So when this, my field or your field, when those tile lines under the ground, and the reason they're 3-4 feet below, because then you can run tractors and all, you're
Yeah.
not gonna damage those. So before it drains into the river, right there we put a biofilter. And the biofilters are, we are designing different kinds of biofilter. What we do is basically with wood chips. And the wood chips are like energy for microorganisms. And there are a lot of science there. And then when the water with a lot of nitrogen, they're coming there. So wood chips, they try to chew it. And, the thing that NO3, which is nitrate, that's
Yeah.
what the most fertilizers are. So that wood chips, the microorganisms, when they become hyperactive, they try to take that oxygen, that NO3, that oxygen.
Really?
So what is left with only N? N2 is lighter than air, goes
Gone.
into the atmosphere. What a beautiful solution.
Yeah. Right.
We know the solution to fix it. In your opinion, why do you think Flint, Michigan's water system is still an issue?
All because it's the lead problem. They
lead-
have, Flint, Michigan is also part of political system.
Yeah.
There are a lot of there. I think the communities have been cheated
Yeah.
for many
yeah.
years. What people have done, people have sold their water to the big companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and all those things. So local people are not getting any water.
And you see how much money is going into foreign countries.
Yes.
Flint, Michigan still does not have water.
And guess who made that problem known to all of us? Somebody from New York, some professor, from Cornell.
Yeah.
They are the one, they have to investigate that.
Wow.
Very sad.
Yeah.
We have all this, we call it, you guys must have heard it, muck fishing thing. No, you never. Okay, you are.
What is it called?
No, I don't record me on that one. I'll tell you what that. But nicest educational system, good scientist and all, but this person from Cornell, they are the first one that put a lot of time and
Right.
effort into bringing that to the knowledge of people.
And
out
we
there.
have no idea how much damage it caused because it's still causing damage.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
oh
the
my
same
gosh.
thing with I don't remember what the train that got derailed in Ohio.
Yeah.
A little bit ago, and so much
I know.
nuclear waste.
Great Lakes, Chicago,
Yeah.
all those lakes, Lake Erie,
Yeah,
like
we have no idea how much damage that is currently causing.
after Second World War, we dumped all the DDTs there.
Oh no!
So I was at a conference in Chicago many years ago, and then this is as a microbiology professor from Michigan State showed us how the fish structure had changed. They said, because this fish, they're living there for hundreds of years. Well, not the same fish and their population, and their fins and their whole body structure.
Are they
changed.
mutating?
Yeah, they
Yeah,
mutate.
yeah.
Yeah, that has happened.
Nukes in general, scary.
Yeah, I know.
Scary.
I mean, there are a lot of toxic, poisonous things that are human created or naturally created out there. So I think those are the problems that our people should be talking about.
Yeah.
How much
Rather than
no
who
one
will
is
be
talking.
the defense secretary.
No,
Who the hell cares?
nobody's
Yeah,
talking
exactly.
about the train derailment in Ohio anymore.
Well-
Everyone's completely forgot about it. It's still causing. People are probably so sick from radiant poisoning.
What the government, I'm not against the government, but every time there is a big issue, they start a new issue in another country
I
so
know,
that
yeah.
you
Yep.
forget
Yes.
about what's happening
That's
at home.
yeah.
And-
I was talking to you about this a little bit about why I think 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah.
There was a huge issue with us losing a bunch of money.
Yeah.
No one remembered. We started a bunch of wars in the Middle East.
And sometimes I like, I'm not a controversial theorist,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes, you know what happened in South Korea?
Yeah, the
In
guy
couple
tried.
days
He
ago-
declared martial law. Tried to take all the power.
Is it taking
Yeah.
something off of the U.S.? We have
Yes.
used something there?
Yes, it's
This
so
someone
out of
said-
nowhere. The most unpopular. He's super unpopular in South Korea. No one likes him.
17% his
Yeah.
approval rate.
Tried to become a dictator.
Yeah,
They were
exactly.
like pushing people out of parliament.
So this is what our politics do. When we have a big issue, they want to minimize the effect of it, so they create another big news
Yeah.
somewhere.
And we have, and so many
And
people are.
I should
suffering.
not be saying this thing, but
Hey,
which is I feel
First
is
Amendment.
true.
First Amendment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Zach really
it's-
wants to say something.
I had something to say. The news cycle as well. Everything gets pushed through immediately. I mean, you see something one day, it's never talked about again. The assassination attempts. Were those ever that is the biggest deal for a long time, and
But
it's
no
gone.
investigation
No one
is
cares.
happening. It's done.
Yeah.
Everything was wiped. Wiped
Yeah.
clean.
All the money that everybody contributed some money, $5, $1, whatever it is. So both parties, although they are some of them are very millionaire, some $1 billion were spent.
Yeah.
Where did that money go?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That money, I figured it out. It goes all the news media.
Yeah.
They are the ones
Yes.
get the money.
Yes.
Common people like students or the farmers or those who want that do all this business, they don't get any of that. They
Right.
give, and media gets all that money. Can
Yeah.
you believe?
Well, they get the money because they know that the media controls so many people's mind. They want the media to shine the best light
that's
on them as
what
possible.
people like you, Nolan, should start your own way. Don't trust the media.
That's what this is.
This is
That's
that.
what this
we
is.
don't. The media
Right.
is corrupting our
It's so
minds.
corrupted.
Yes,
It
very.
wants us to be in the worst state. The media does not have our best interest in it at all. The media,
media
has our
has
worst interest. It shows us
money.
nothing but negativity. It shows us
My
nothing but
goodness.
that's going to make us depressed. It's going to show us
Yeah.
nothing that makes us hate each other. It's going to make us. It's
That-
just going to show us nothing. It's bad. It's just bad.
It's
No,
it's
like that. How many $1 billion they spent? If they could have solved entire Flint,
So
Michigan
what-
problem. with
Right.
that.
Yeah,
1,000
the media-
times, 1,000,000 times over. 1,000,000 times over.
My
the media
goodness.
wants to keep us weak.
Has that money done any good? No.
No.
It just
No.
separated
Yeah.
our minds,
Yeah.
corrupted
That
our
money,
minds,
yeah.
filled
Distracted
our
us
from
minds
the real
with jealousy
issues.
and toxicity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
The media has that money has only caused problems.
Yes, yes. And then, they are becoming very smart. They said, well, the election will be razor thin. Well, any damn body can say that.
Right. Yeah.
You don't need any
Yeah.
smartness to say that. The election is always 50-50.
Yeah.
Any election is 50-50. When you say 50-50, it's the most safest
Right.
prediction.
Yeah.
Right?
If it was like a 70-30, then
No
it would
one
be
would
a
pay attention.
dictatorship.
Right.
Yeah.
Pay
Not
attention.
only then people say, well, they are wrong. But
Yeah.
now
Right.
nobody is blaming this media.
Right.
I think America should totally boycott this
Well,
media.
I think that this election has shown that media is losing that power.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's still
there's still millions of people tuning in constantly.
But
people
I think
are still so powerful.
Like, my opinion, the biggest reason that Trump won is because he did podcasts. He wasn't on the media. He talked to normal people. He had normal conversations, and that shed a great light on him. That helped a lot. Kamala didn't do that. She stuck with the media. The media doesn't work.
Trump has done a great job, maybe not intentionally, but showing how corrupted the media really is.
For sure.
But how they don't care about the truth. All they care is pushing out an agenda.
Yeah,
exactly.
And you don't, and that's not a political thing. That's just
it's
that's
both sides.
the truth.
Both sides
People
do
see
it.
that every day.
CNN does it. MSNBC does it. Fox News does it. Yeah. Every single media organization, just all they care about is pushing out a certain. It's always real suspicious because it's always the same agenda.
Exactly.
Every single news in the agenda is keeping the people divided.
You know, many years ago when I came to this country, I listened to the news, like one of the guys that I like, I don't know what, his name is Tom something. He's from South Dakota.
All right.
Tom. Anyway, I'm very bad in name. It's a news. They will just tell, today, this is what happened.
Right.
Some people died or some disease happened. But now the media, they not only
think for you.
They won't let you think.
The media wants to make your
died
thoughts.
because this is what happened,
right.
and because this is what is gonna happen. So we are all became dumb.
Yeah.
They don't care about.
We have no brain, and our brains cannot think of.
Yeah.
As a media, you give me the news. Don't analyze it for me.
Don't
solve that problem for me.
People don't critical think anymore.
Critical thinking is dying.
It's a thing of the past.
It's that, and why the thought leaders of this country are not thinking about and shutting the media.
Well, unfortunately,
they
controlled.
should give them. You have all the news. You have only 1 hour a day.
Yeah, the 24-hour news cycle is terrible.
Yeah,
exactly.
There is. I'm sorry, but especially locally,
and it's the same news.
Yes, there is not enough news for 24 hours.
No,
not even close.
Exactly.
I don't know if you know, but Norm Macdonald did an amazing bit on it. He said nowadays news cycles is 24 hours.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it used to be about 45 minutes.
That's right.
Turns out they had it about right back in the day.
It's 5 to 5:30. That's what in the afternoon when we get back, we see all. Tom Brokaw, that's the name of that guy. He was from South Dakota. The great journalist. His name is Tom Brokaw.
Yeah.
I don't know what was his racial background, but man, what a news. I still think of Peter Jennings. Those guys, I remember because first time I came to America and I listened to the news. I said, what a beautiful ways of telling, because at that time in India, they did the same thing what America does now. They will not only tell you the news, they will tell you everything so that you don't have to use your brain.
Yeah.
Because we are all brain dead.
Yeah,
seriously.
Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with the media, but the phone. Because you go on your phone and you just scroll.
The social media?
Yes.
That's what when you said in the beginning, you asked you say why it is like that. And I said because we have too much information.
Yes.
That is the reason.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, we
it
have
really
too
is.
much of that going on, and too much of information. So who knows what is the authentic and what is duplicate?
And our phones, they play us so well because they know what addicts the brain the most, which is dopamine. And
they're
it gives
changing our thought process
so much.
100%.
So people don't realize it because they're such phone zombies.
Yeah, and like this is an hour and 10 minutes.
No one's gonna watch.
Majority of people will not watch this far because they don't have the attention span.
It doesn't have all those exotic thing out there.
We need to start putting Subway Surfers gameplay in our whole podcast.
Yeah.
Something people can focus on.
I know.
It's sad. It's so sad.
It's very sad. I'm thinking America, the most developed country and most developed people in the whole planet.
Yeah.
Why we don't put a stop to this this kind of damage
because
is happening?
We don't realize it yet. On people's eyes, I don't think people's eyes are open yet. Once people's eyes are open to realize what that actually is going on, I think it will change.
It's like what you were saying. When they come and drained the state, they didn't know what the negatives were going to be, so they just did it. Same thing that's going on now. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
History repeats itself.
History repeats, and but anyway, I'm a very positive-minded person.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
It's the best way to live.
Yes.
It's the best way to live. I live for every day. I don't care tomorrow
Right.
whether I will see you or not, but hopefully when I don't see him at the gym, I said, hey, Quinn, did you see Nolan and his little brother there? But, doesn't matter. I tell people, I tell that to my son, the country right now is going through change. Don't let it affect your own relationship
Right.
with
Yep.
your friends.
That is
and your
terrible how that's
family.
happening. That the political system is seriously destroying relationships.
It is putting a lot of toxic in people's minds.
Yeah.
It really is. It's
And
it's,
we are buying it.
it's
Right.
destroying marriage.
And what do you see most?
Which is
Negative,
sad.
negative, never positive.
Exactly.
Never. And
So-
it's crazy because there is so much positivity
Yeah.
out in the world.
Exactly.
People just don't see it anymore.
Exactly.
They don't look for it because they don't even think it exists anymore. The media has done such a good job of corrupting our minds. We have lost even the mere hope that something good exists.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we
Yeah.
just don't look for it anymore. It's so sad.
It's
Have
very
you in
sorry,
any
yeah.
of those big news? Have you ever seen that anyone going to one of my Illinois farmers, those who are feeding the
Right.
world?
No.
Right? No.
Nobody.
at all.
They will not come because farmers, they're dumb.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
They
think.
don't have a college education.
Their
they
opinion
didn't
does
go to
not
s-
matter.
They
It
didn't
just
go to school.
kills my mind
Yeah.
that we don't recognize people, those who are contributing on a every
Right.
day
Yeah.
our lives.
They are feeding us. Without them, we don't live. We don't have food.
Not feeding. That thousands of ships, grains are putting in Mississippi River, and then ADM is collecting. They're shipping it to China, Africa,
Yeah.
the whole world. And who is doing it? My Midwestern farmers.
Yeah.
So
And there's like, I don't remember when it was, but there was a time where you weren't allowed to have a certain amount of farmland. Like a certain amount of your land it
Had to be.
controlled by the government.
Yeah.
Because the people are getting
Yeah.
they want to control the food supply.
Right.
Yep.
Just have more control over the people. So they're buying farmland. Bill Gates has
Yeah.
bought
Yeah.
tons of farmland.
Yeah.
Tons.
because that is gonna.
I think they want the local farmer to die out.
Well, they
It
want
has had plus there
pure
are
control.
also a lot of restrictions,
Right.
a lot of policies on
Yeah.
farm. My most favorites to he's like my son, Steve Anderson. They have like 2,500 acres land in little north of Effingham here. What is the place? I forgot. Steve's mom was a music teacher. His dad is a graduate here in economics, and Steve did his undergraduate and master's with me. Then he went to do his master research in India. He did such a good, fantastic work. The entire lab group was. That young boy has developed this new water cleaning system that doesn't cost us even $1. And I
Wow.
say, yeah, because this is our boys.
Yeah.
So, and then, so after that, he got a job with the U.S. Corps of Engineers. But then after 2-3 years, he said, Prasanta, I cannot work for people. I don't like someone bossing around me.
Right.
So he started his own company.
Wow.
And his brother also, they both graduated from my department. They both have their own company now.
That's awesome.
You got to give yourself credit for that because you didn't just teach them you didn't just teach them some equation. You didn't just teach them some crap out of a textbook. You taught them how to learn.
Well, I think he taught me how to do my things.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, I give credit to them, and I learned a lot of things watching them, what they do, and when they make a little bit of deviation, I say maybe you should try this.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But
Yeah.
I think people like that, and I have many other things, like this guy, not McGinnis. I just got his Christmas letter. He now designs the O'Hare Airport,
Wow.
graduating from here.
Wow.
The kid wasn't, people are different, He didn't have a 4.0 grade point average.
Right.
And then, but he wanted to do a master's,
Yeah.
an advanced degree, and wanted to learn some new ways. And I said, come on. And he said, I'll not get admission. I said, I'll make sure that you get admission. So we got him admission. And then, this guy, he worked, he developed some good filter. And, if he wanted, he could have been very rich, because a Chinese company told me that if I release the information to them, they will make all the water filter for rural communities so that they won't have E. coli problem in their water. So Steve did that. All guys named with Steve are very good guys. I don't know. So he slept in the lab.
Wow.
He wanted to prove to me that since we gave him an admission to his master's degree, he will have to be the very best.
Wow.
I said, Steve, you have a family. You don't have to sacrifice your life.
Right.
And he still tells me, one thing I learned from you, that work is important, but your family is more important.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely, that's the bottom line.
Right.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Now he designs O'Hare Airport in all their water drainage system.
That's
he
awesome.
does it.
That's so cool.
That brings me. I kind of focus on how to improve my life as much as I can, and I just want to hear your advice on life. How do you? So for me right now, going through college, any advice for going through college or young? Not even just me, just young people out there that are going through tough times that don't know where to go or what to do in life. Do you have any advice for those people?
Boy, thank you. Thank you. I am sure you know more than what you think about life. I have many proofs of many young students. Over my life, I have advised more than 1,000,
Wow.
young people like you, They know.
Yeah.
But they're confused.
Yeah,
Because
very.
there is so much
Right.
so much information
Yep.
these days, and that rate of confusion is increasing
Yes.
these days. And I think Nolan and I had a little bit of discussion other day when you talked about artificial intelligence out there. So here is a simple advice. Do not underestimate yourself. And here is the thing. You cannot solve the whole problem of the world.
Yeah.
If you think that your degree or by choosing a path, you are going to solve all the problem, you will make all the money, and you will make everybody happy and all, never. That is a wrong thought of life. It is something, a capitalistic view, but you don't have to think about it.
Right.
What you have to do the best what you do.
I like that.
Doesn't matter. You do your welding, do the best. Make sure you're welding those lines that you do beautiful. I cannot do welding. I got a C grade. When I did in my freshman year engineering, we had to learn welding. Because I cannot see with that big thing with my eye. So, whatever you do,
Do the best of your ability.
do the best of your ability,
yeah.
and that people will notice.
Have
Right.
something you can be proud in.
You should
Have
be proud,
work
and
that you can
others
have pride in.
around you.
Yeah.
Always remember that people notices your work. You are not an invisible thing.
Mm-hmm.
You are visible. Everybody watches everybody
Yeah.
on this planet.
Yeah.
So whether it's your teacher or your friend or someone, so do your good thing.
Yeah.
Give your best effort, and then whatever you commit, do it. Stick to the commitment. Always.
I've been listening to a book called Atomic Habits just recently, and from that book I take a lot of. They talk about goals and how setting goals is actually kind of a negative thing. It's a positive thing, but you don't want to just look at that goal because a lot of goals you want to obtain. Like you were saying,
Man, yeah.
exactly what you're saying.
You just stole a lecture that I gave to my students about that.
But what they're saying is you need to focus on the little things, and that builds up over time.
Nolan and I talk, I tell my students, all engineers, don't use textbooks. The textbooks limit your capability because it makes you think like those old damn people 50 years ago. They wrote some book and same equation or a process, and they all want you to follow, do that. No, those are, I call it, to me, the name textbook should be retired and it should be given opinion book.
Yeah.
It's their opinion.
Right. Yeah. doesn't make it right.
Changing. Our brains are thinking. Our problems are new. Our challenges are new.
Yeah,
our
right.
society is different. So
we've never lived in a time like this before. So a textbook made 20 years ago is not going to accurately tell you what to do.
Exactly. Then if you use that textbook, you are going 50 years.
Right. Yeah.
The best textbook is right here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here, let your heart guide your brain.
Yeah.
Because this one will always, no matter where you come from, this one, human heart, well, there are very few people that don't think good about, but I would say more than 90% people, they always think good for other people.
Yes. Yeah.
Always. And this is all across the world.
But
so,
unfortunately,
we don't see that.
Social media kind of cancels that out.
It does. Because in social media, everybody wants to be famous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody
It's very
wants
cutthroat.
to see
Yep.
you do a like, and so they can say, "Oh, I have 5,000 followers."
It's that dopamine spike.
Yeah.
It's so addicting.
People need instant gratification.
Yes. It's.
Yeah.
That's the bad thing, like people in my generation or earlier, they will do their work. They are not worried about, what happens. Even good work, bad work. But now, they will only say something or not say something to be gratified by somebody else.
Yeah. It sucks.
But there will be restrictions on those.
Yeah.
Someday, maybe in a year or maybe in 50 years.
Yeah.
Because people are
They adapt.
they have identified that that's a big problem.
Huge
Right.
problem.
Yeah. It's again back to what you said. This is a negative topic that we're talking about, but there's always a bounce back. There's always a positive, and it can change.
Give you a book to read. It's about a guy, he's a young professor from Georgia, wrote about some of this concept about the new generation. How we need to change our education system.
We were talking about that, about how I think the education and the prison system have so many correlations. The education system isn't creating thinkers.
No.
It's creating dull workers that don't use their brain anymore.
It's factory work. That's what school is.
I told Nolan, my two young friends, they're twins from Philo, born here. I think they are 29 or 30, just a couple of years older than my son. They didn't go to college. They're born here. They went to some Unity High. I don't know where is that Unity High. It's somewhere near in Philo. But none of them were impressed that they need to go to college, because they said, I can do whatever needs to be done. I don't need to spend so much money. Of course, they didn't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
But those guys, one of them, he moved to LA because he always wanted to be, if this is a podcast, and this is to my friend Nick, he will know it because Nick is pushing me to do podcast. So he is so damn smart. And he and I talk, and I get so many good ideas from him. He now, is doing a lot of consulting, and in insurance and all those kind of things. He in LA, he moved. And he's making progress because he told me he's moving into a bigger house in Hollywood Hill.
Wow.
Out there.
When it comes to success in life or happiness or whatever, it's not education.
No.
It's not who you know. It's the only thing, or the most important thing it boils down to, is dedication. If you are dedicated enough and you put enough hard work in,
disciplined,
you'll get it.
Yeah.
It may take years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
Exactly.
But the longer it takes, the more worth it is. The better it will feel.
Right.
Exactly.
Instead of just this instant gratification that you get is just crap.
Enjoy the journey instead of the outcome.
And then, you ask that question, going back to, don't shortcut your path.
Yeah.
Do that, go through the usual path. You will learn so much more.
Go through the fire.
With a meandering river.
Yeah.
If you go through the meander, you will see a lot more varieties there.
Instead of just cutting. Yeah.
Nobody can take life experience away from you. People can take your money and your house and your thing, but nobody can take the lived-in experience that you have it.
Yes.
So that is another thing, and you say it in the right way. The education is not the only thing. There are few essential ingredients to be successful in life. But that again, that successful definition can be different,
Change, yeah.
different to different people.
Yeah.
Even one person, what you think successful today, tomorrow you might think,
Yeah.
Right.
that's bullshit.
Yeah.
This is not how it is. Maybe a different thing.
Right.
I have changed my course of life. I wanted to be a physicist. All I wanted to study about the stars. And then now I think, shit, I'm glad I'm not, because what problem I would have solved.
Yeah.
And I'm helping people at least
Right.
drinking
Yeah.
clean water
Yeah.
out there. And, you know. But anyway.
There's
so-
no better feeling.
There is
no
no-
better feeling than helping someone.
Yes.
But you know, the essential ingredients to be, I don't want to say successful, but let's say impactful in your life is, well, education is one.
Yeah.
I mean, if we are not educated, doesn't mean degree and education are two different
Yes.
things.
That and
Yes.
just wanting to learn all the
Yes.
time. That's completely different things.
Look at Abraham Lincoln was not
Yeah.
a lawyer.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't go to. He
became
just
the
read
famous
books.
Lawyer
He just
by
read
his-
books.
by
Yeah.
studying
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
You know, and there are many such educated people on this planet
Yes.
that they didn't even, they couldn't afford to even buy a
Right.
book.
Yeah. A lot of
So that education means, you know, collecting knowledge.
They
in a
had
way.
the dedication
Right.
to go out and gain knowledge.
Yeah.
Discipline is the number two.
Yes.
Yes.
You know,
Huge.
in
Dedication, discipline.
commitment. That
Commitment.
you commit something. So these are things, and B, which doesn't cost anything, always smile.
Yeah.
Always smile.
Yeah.
Somebody told me, in a village person, a smiling face costs nothing but arms many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you smile, people say, such a lovely person.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it-
So you know, there are many other essential ingredients, but these four, if you stick to that, you will always have an impactful life.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Those are all great things, but I think smiling. I think we should touch on that. Just a compliment. If I told you that your clothes look good or
Yeah.
you look good today,
Yeah, it
and
goes
someone
so
who
far.
doesn't talk to people or has a crappy social life or has a crappy family life, that can be the best thing in the world.
I still remember our first interaction. I mean, it was just, you just came up to me
Yeah.
and gave me
Yeah.
a simple compliment.
Yeah,
Turned into
because then
this.
I see him every day,
Right.
how he's helping his little brother. And I was there and I said, I must go and talk to this young man that I was so impressed that, you know, he helped. And when he cannot lift it, he comes and gives a little push. And I said, what a mentor.
Yeah.
So, and I told Queen, I think he's going to say, this old Indian crappy man, why the hell he has to tell me? I do that for my brother anyway. But Queen said, no, he will not think like that. I said, yeah, but I went and talked to him, and then now see, we
Yeah.
are doing podcasts.
Just
Yeah.
such
I know.
a simple hello. A
Yeah.
simple hello can go so far in life.
Exactly.
A simple
Exactly.
compliment made this happen
Yeah.
right now.
And you know, and it's not only for me, but for also people that you talk to, because you know, a
Yeah.
lot of people have different issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Family issues,
Everyone's going through
relationship
something.
issues,
Yep.
financial
Yeah.
issues, mental health issues.
Yes.
Talking to people in a way to maintain a little bit of distance, I think goes a long way.
Oh,
It's
definitely.
it's a feeling that they're not alone anymore.
Exactly.
It's,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's
Someone's
such a good
there with
feeling.
them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
It's
huge.
such a good feeling knowing that you're not going through something alone.
Right.
Or someone has experienced something similar.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very selfish in a sense that I don't want to tell. I got a lot of awards. And many of them I probably didn't deserve it. But the students and my professors, my friends liked me all over the world. I
Yeah.
got local awards, regional awards, state awards, international awards.
You gotta tell us your international award so we can like put it in the description.
No,
No, you have to.
No,
You
no,
have to.
no,
No, it's
don't
okay.
worry about that. That's too much bragging about me.
No.
And you know, people say,
There's a
My-
difference between
my father said, when you walk through a rose garden, you will smell the roses.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to tell that these are
Right.
roses.
Yeah.
Right. Beautiful things don't ask for
Exactly.
attention.
I think
Exactly.
I think there's a difference, a huge difference in being bragful or being boastful and just kind of being proud of yourself. I think I think that like you can teeter the line very well.
Those are already there somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and my father was, he taught us. My father was like a teacher, but he always said, the moment you open your mouth and tell boast about yourself, everything goes into dust.
Yeah.
And at that time, when we were young, we all wanted to be recognized.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
come on,
I just want to be selfish because it would look so good in like the video or in the description. It looked great. It looked great.
I'm overriding Nolan. We're not doing that.
No, don't do that. Just let me be a common person.
Yeah, exactly. That is
Because
exactly the point.
if you put there, then people think, oh, yeah, it can happen for him because he had all those awards.
Exactly.
What do you
They will
mean?
not think.
I don't follow exactly.
Okay, so when you have a title, people look at you differently. So
They
when
do.
they see his title, they'll go, "Oh, he's a professor.
Yeah,
he
of
did all
course
this,"
he
and
will-
they're gonna
Of course, he
right.
will go to 89 countries because he's a professor.
Right.
Why the hell we are listening and wasting our time? We are
Well, I
not
don't
Yeah.
think. No, I don't
professors.
think that's. I'm gonna disagree with that because I think there's people to look up. I think you look up to people. You're not gonna be like, oh, this guy's the president. I don't
And-
care what he says. No, you're gonna be like, you're gonna put a certain amount of respect to him. I
That's-
don't think it's looking up to. I think it's putting respect to
I mean,
you.
if they are not putting respect by what they heard
That's
me,
true, yeah.
my title should not do it.
Yeah.
But
'Cause-
it's almost like the little hook. The little hook to get the fish. You can have a fishing rod with
I
just
see your
line.
point, but
Yeah.
that's
fine.
not my philosophy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I think, like I said, a diamond doesn't ask for attention.
Exactly. And
Beautiful
and
things don't ask for
my
attention.
dad used to say, when you walk in a rose garden, you will know it that you're in a rose garden
Right.
because you'll smell the flowers. No one has to tell you that, you're in a rose garden. Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
My dad was a school teacher, but is a very good wise man. We are 5 siblings. He made sure that everybody gets a college degree. He believed at that time, in education equal to degree.
Right.
But
Yeah.
now people think it differently.
Yeah.
People
Completely
think differently.
changed.
Your degree, and I have seen many PhD, doctorate. They're not educated people.
Right.
They're full of
They
shit.
they
about
yeah
themselves.
they followed the path. They walked the line. They
Yeah.
didn't. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of rounded individuals that need to have their voice out there rather than these
They'd
just
rather just follow the status quo though, because it's the safest option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But when you have everything in your life, I said the same thing to my son. I think my son has a degree, but I am pushing him to be educated. He reads. The only thing I did to my son when he was young, because I told Nola I'm a single father. My son since he was 4-year-old.
Wow.
Every Sunday, from 8 to 6, we spend in Borders. Border used to be a bookstore, and it used to be where the beanies and the North Prospect, all the drinks. That used to be a Border bookstore. So I take my son every Sunday, and I take my laptop. I work there, and he
Wow.
reads around, and then I tell him if you finish one book, you can buy another one.
Yeah.
right.
And then you have whole week to finish that book. He had his own library.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
So, now, I am tired of when he's in the bathroom. Come on, my food is, oh, Dad, I'm almost there. Let me finish this. I say, yeah. And he said, yeah,
Everything's
you
go-
got me into
Yeah,
this.
everything's got a pro and a con.
He reads
Yeah.
so much.
That is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I kind of like it, and other people say, oh, how did you make him read? I say, well,
I don't think you made him read. I think you showed him
just
how
helped him.
awesome
Yeah.
it
I
can
just
be.
provided the
Yes,
environment.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
and I just go there and,
Right.
I mean, it's not like you had a gun to his head
No,
forcing
no,
him to
no,
read the pages.
no.
You didn't make him do
No,
anything.
and I said, you go around and, when you want hot chocolate, come and we
Yeah.
put it in the hot chocolate and,
Yeah, you gave him the material and then he took it and did what he did with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then every time I go somewhere, I used to buy him books. But, I thought that has helped him to learn, and he knows a lot more than I do, because when you speak English, he says, you don't know English, you're from India. And I like when he says that.
Yeah.
It's good to be criticized.
It's good to be
sometimes.
challenged. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly,
Yep.
exactly.
Yeah.
So no, he traveled to with me. I took him everywhere. When he was young, when I go to another country, I just go to the school principal. I said, "Hey, I need help." He said, "What?" I said, "You have to take my son to your home." Why? Because I'm going to Japan. So the only place either you take him or I take him.
Yeah.
Oh, you take him. Good, because that's my result. That's what I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You talked about spirit. Well, you didn't talk about spirituality. You talked about philosophy, which made me think of spirituality. I have been interested in meditating. I know you're from India, and I know that's where it originates, or I don't know if it originates from India, but it's big. It's a big.
Who knows? The Indians
Right.
claim that
Yeah, yeah.
it comes from them.
So I was wondering what you knew about it, because I'm just starting to. I've done it for 4 days in a row. It's really, really hard to start,
Well, it's
but
like
I'm interested in it.
in Indian family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about all the too rich or too poor family, but we are like common, middle class.
Right.
People. The meditation is like another ritual. It's like washing your clothes, taking a shower every day.
It's a habit.
It's a habit.
Yeah.
We do that. And if I don't do that, someone starts that. Like my sister will do it. And I'll sit there and, just thinking about something. And then I call, Bina, and then she said, I was doing my meditation.
Mm.
So it's a part of your daily
Routine.
routine.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah.
They do that. And a lot of that had to do with they try to relieve your mind from the day-to-day stresses
Mhm.
and link you with the spiritual,
Right.
the better and bigger things.
Yeah.
I think it's like a form of detachment. Like you become detached. Almost, you separate yourself. I think the person and the brain detach.
Yes, which I love it. And sometimes I think I have been detached.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is everything disappears from me. I will not be a single bit sad.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And when I tell it to my son says, aren't you a little younger? You can be, maybe when you become 80. I said, no.
Yeah.
I'm already at that level.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing attracts me. I'm attracted to everything, but nothing that, I cannot live without this.
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you're not missing.
No, even my son, lives in Virginia, and he's my only son.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think, what happens if something happens to him?
Yeah,
But then I say, I think I'll be fine.
I love that. Yeah.
Do you think you've accomplished your life goal or what you were destined to do?
I just don't know what my goal is. That's what, like you said, my goal changes.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
Right now my goal is to help Brazilian people how to control flood.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a new goal that an opportunity came to me. Some Brazilian friends, they asked me to travel. They paid me all the money and the tickets to go to Brazil and connect. So I went there because they had a big flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Many people died. A lot of property, millions and billions of dollars. And then they want to work with some researcher and people that have worked in climate change or designing flood control structure. And I said, I'm not here to tell you what to do it because I don't know.
Right.
But I want to work with you and
Yeah.
then we can all figure it
Yeah.
out. They love this kind of thing.
Yeah. The free thinking,
Exactly.
You didn't say there was a textbook solution.
Right.
No.
You have to do that.
Yes.
No, it's just
Yeah, you
we
have
gotta
to.
think about it.
Yeah. So this is my now new goal.
Yeah.
Just how can I help? Because a lot of people died and
Yeah.
lost their lives and all. And I saw that. I said, oh my gosh, I want to help these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And last few years, 10 years, I worked for Africa, bringing them food and water. Before that, I never thought I'll ever work in the Middle East because they don't have water.
Yeah.
Right.
So I work with this. Did you hear the name Bedouins?
Mm-mm.
It's a community. Bedouins are like homeless people in Middle East. So it's a community. They basically they have animals. They have no land, but they go from country. They don't need passport.
Oh,
or
they're
visa.
nomadic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So exactly.
Yeah.
And nomadic people are a little more civilized.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, but they're so kind-hearted people, and they didn't have water, and that they were running into the problem of existence because without water, they cannot grow grasses, and
Right.
the animals have no food.
Yeah.
Right.
So we did some work for them, and I mean, it's not me, but I learned.
Yeah.
There are people there to work and how to solve a problem, and I feel so good about that.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that, and I totally agree. There cannot be only what is my goal of life. So if I have one goal, then I'm going to miss everything else.
A goal limits
when
you.
I go there.
Yes. Yes.
Something that I took it from my son's email. Maybe I'll show you someday when I find it. He, in his email signature, he said, take a long walk, something like that, but don't miss anything that you see on the sides. I thought that's, you can learn from anybody.
Right.
Even my son, who is
Yeah.
stupid, I think, you can learn from him. He said, don't miss things on the way.
Yeah.
Don't get so focused on the destination
Right.
you miss everything on the journey.
Yeah.
Exactly, because life itself is not to get there.
Yeah.
It's
It's
whole
this.
thing.
Yeah. It's
I
every
really-
second.
The destination of life is death.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
don't focus on that.
Yeah.
Focus,
Stay
on,
away from
focus
that.
on the journey
Yeah.
of going through
Yeah.
life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
It's a good
Oh
way to
my
live.
gosh. Huh?
It's a good way to live.
It is.
It's a good way to
Yeah.
live. Live for every day. Be happy.
Don't consume your mind with the negatives.
Oh.
Nothing in life is perfect.
That
I said this last time, but nothing in life is perfect. You could have the best thing in the world. It's still going to be 0.01% negative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If all you focus on is that 0.01% negative, the rest of the 99.999% becomes absolutely irrelevant, and your mind it goes to a worse place.
Exactly.
It goes to a more negative place.
You are what you think.
Yeah.
Every day when I wake up, I'm an early riser, and because that's what I learned at home when we were young.
Yeah.
Every day when I wake up and put my feet on the ground and I thank God. I mean, I'm not a religious person or
Right.
anything, but it has been in me to thank somebody because I can walk
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
today. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
I could have been dead by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the 5-6 hours that I sleep, a lot of things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
There is nobody guaranteed me
Yeah.
that I will be alive next day,
Right.
but I am. So I thank somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the growth mindset, I think, is what you have a lot, and then you have a lot of positive thinking, which is huge, I believe. Have you heard of the law of attraction?
Yes.
Yes.
He told me that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what it says. If if you're a positive person, then positive things will happen to you. If you're a negative person or you think
Always,
negatively,
always,
negative things will happen.
always. I'll show you in my office. I have a little thing that has been with me for last more than 30 years. Give the world the best that you have, and the best
Yeah.
will come to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little, I think I bought it in a farmer's market or something.
Yeah.
Like 30 years ago when I was a student,
That's
and I
awesome.
still have it.
That's awesome.
Give the world the best that you have, and the
Yeah.
best will come back to you.
Right.
It always does.
Yeah. I think back to like the U.S. and the society, I think, do you think that we should bring more religion back into? Because I feel like religion has fallen and people have, there's obviously
People
some sort
miss
of.
you. I read something. Who said that? It's not Einstein. Somebody said something about, like my family is very religious.
Mhm.
My sisters and all. Oh my gosh. So my son was like me because the way I raised him, I just say is an independent person. You don't have to
Yeah.
follow what I follow or my parents follow.
Whatever works for
But
you.
I said, whatever works for you.
Yeah.
And now, he's going to marry a Christian lady and, they will have children.
Right.
And, I will encourage them to go to church because it's a discipline.
I guess I worded it wrongly. Not religion. I feel like people need to.
A higher meaning. It gives them a higher meaning.
It is.
And
I mean,
to lose-
something more
Yeah,
than themselves.
something more than themselves.
is
Yes, yes.
absolutely
That's what I
essential.
mean.
It is,
Yes.
and that's
It's
it's
That's
gone in
what's-
society.
That's what's falling. It's slowly decreasing.
Yeah, when you just think about yourself.
So many
The
selfish people out there.
selfishness in the
Yeah.
world it's killing it.
It's sad.
Absolutely. I don't want to say that, but I'll say something about my life off the mic. But there is always, and it helps you.
Yeah.
It gives you that, people think that, oh, there is a God, He's watching. I don't believe if there is one human being, man or women, or somebody watching me or bring me money. No. It gives you an energy to do things that
Good.
you think you
Yeah.
I strongly believe that.
Do you believe that people are born neutral, or they're born evil or good?
No evil. Nobody is born evil. Even the evil, the thing that even the Hitler wasn't.
Hitler
evil.
wasn't.
Right. No.
Hitler went through a very traumatic childhood.
I know,
Very
a
got
lot
beat
of
by his dad a
people-
lot. His
Yeah.
brother
Yeah.
died, and it devastated him.
I think of sometimes nobody is born evil, and then after traveling all over the world,
Right. All the experiences.
after traveling all over the world, I think this world is full of good people.
Yeah.
Full of. But there are few not so good people. Why not so good? Circumstances.
Right. Yeah. What had happened to them in their
Yeah,
life?
it's something that has
Yeah.
happened, or mental health issues.
It
Yeah.
could be
Always-
some of it is a feeling of wanting to get back at the world. Like they
Yeah,
were dealt
like-
a bad card, or maybe they were bullied.
It's the victim mentality.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of school shootings are caused due to bullying.
People, those kids, many of them were bullied.
Yeah,
before.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
bullied.
And, or they had terrible family conditions.
Or
and
we are not able to handle them.
Right. Yes.
Because the human, we may have gone to the moon, but do we know everything about how human behave?
No.
I don't know what's inside your mind.
Right.
The day I'll be able to see what's inside Nolan's mind, that day my goal will be all accomplished. But nobody knows that. Even the psychologist, he'll be a psychologist, he will not know that.
Yeah.
He will follow the book by the cookie cutter, what
Yes,
that.
yeah.
If you do this, that means you are in that. If you
No,
not do
no,
that, you
that's
will
so
be doing
ridiculous
that,
because
right?
every single human brain is uniquely different.
Yeah,
Well, that
exactly.
that ties into the issues with school. Is school is taught one way,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a million different ways.
Our
People
schools
learn.
don't teach us to be openly thinking.
And if I had just stuck with what I knew from high school and school in general, I would have never gone to college. But since I got that college experience and I realized, hey, there's more than just this, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Exactly. And,
Yeah.
and then I think I told you 4 points. The fifth one is keep your open mind.
Yeah.
Grab
Don't
the
let
opportunity.
others think for you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone else make any decision for you.
Right.
And sometimes it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially if it is your own children. But now raising a child myself without a mother, I know it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
When you see that your kids can survive in any, any environment, and then use the human qualities to come out of that
Right.
misery.
On top. Yeah.
Oh, it gives you the pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I have done something right.
Yeah.
And that is with everybody. Sometimes we try to dictate, it's not a bad thing. It's out of love
Yeah.
Yes.
and out of care
Yeah.
that
Yes.
many parents do that.
Right.
And
They think they know what's best, and they don't.
Yeah.
They don't
They
exactly. But is that a bad thing?
No,
It's
no,
not.
No.
it's just it's a human thing. It's a
Exactly.
human thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we're all humans.
Yeah.
It's just
Like when I did not, me and my brothers and sister, we did not get 100 out of 100 in every math test. We get can.
Right.
Why? Why
Yeah.
you didn't get? Was that a corporal punishment? My father, no, because he wanted.
He
us
was
to be
doing it
good.
out of love.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
I realized that a lot from growing up. I thought, I thought I never wanted to teach. I thought, and my parents were like, and all the strict things, and I thought they were so strict, and I thought this is stupid, and now I look back and I go, I am so thankful that they did that for me.
Exactly.
I'm so unbelievably thankful.
Exactly.
And now, I mean, the reason that I didn't want to teach, I thought I never wanted to teach, was because the only example I had was school.
Yeah.
And that destroyed it. And now I go into college and I realize I actually want to teach people. That is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to, give them the information to help them improve their life.
It is a beautiful thing. I
Yes.
never wanted to be a teacher myself.
Yeah.
Never. And that's why my dad said, you should, my brother is, they're doing whole engineering and doctors and all that. I wanted to be a physicist.
Right.
But my dad said, you should be an engineer. because he said, everybody, if you do physics, then you'll be a teacher. Because everybody in my family all went into teaching. At one point, my both parents were teacher and all that thing. But look at what happens. That training, that what do you call the passive training that you get growing up, ultimately made me a teacher. And I think I'm a good teacher because
I've never been in one of your classes.
I enjoy doing
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's huge, and a lot of teachers don't enjoy it, and that's and having a good teacher in your life can change the outcome of everything.
I don't think it's that they don't enjoy it. I think it's that they're forced to do it a certain way.
Yeah.
They have to comply to certain standards set up by you.
And students can see that. If the teacher cannot enjoy the teacher will be always scrappy and and then calling on names and be like the most cruel person.
Yes. Yeah.
But hey, if we are done, how long we have been?
About 2
hours.
Oh shoot. Okay. How about I take you for a small dinner here on?
Really?
Because I have to go home and I have to cook and I don't have time. I'm hungry, so there is a place called Aspen. Tape House. You know where that is? It's right on Main Street, right here. Yeah, it's like a sports bar kind of thing. Yeah, I go there from time to time. Let's go there. I'll buy you some simple dinner. We'll go and see. Perfect. Let's do that.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
of
thank
course,
you.
We'll wrap it up. Yeah, this has been awesome.
This has been an amazing episode. One of the he's not going to say it himself, one of the wisest people out there.
Oh.
Seriously is. Someone's got to give him credit.
But thank you so much for talking to us.
Yes.
And we'd love to do this again.
Seriously. This
was
amazing.
I told, and then you and I ran into the bathroom, and then he said, I'll be waiting. So I came out, and then Quinn said, oh, you're leaving? I said, yeah. The Nolan he said, oh, this is your day, you're doing it? I said, yes. He said, make sure that you send me one. So he knew that I was looking forward, and because he asked me, are you nervous or excited? I said, I don't know, because I've never done one. Right. But the way you guys made me do it is just conversation. Yeah. And that's what Nick tells me, my friend from Philo, who is in Hollywood, he said, let's do it. You'll be so natural. Yeah. But I said, I don't know. But he wants me to talk. Nick wants me to concentrate more on education.
Right.
Like helping, people out there. Yeah. But anyway, we'll talk on different issues.
Yes, I love to.
Someday we'll talk about water, climate change, what specifically I have done.
Right. Yeah, we can dedicate different episodes to different topics or whatnot. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you. I have to thank Nolan and Zach.
Jeff,
whatever you prefer. But thank you for pushing me to do this thing. Like I said, I think my life has everything is so good. I don't feel bad for not doing something.
Right.
I don't feel good for doing things.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do it, I would not feel that, it's too bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm beyond those feelings. And but I think I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
So you have shown me in new ways.
Yeah.
And Nick has been telling me for years. He and I went to 6 European countries several years ago. And then I went there to find in Denmark, in an island, and I wrote a story, it's in my Facebook, a 95-year-old Danish professor who was like my father. When I was in Bangkok, he told me how to ride a horse and all in Thailand.
Wow.
When I was doing my master thesis. Wow. So Professor Nelson. So, I wanted to find him. And I didn't know anything where he is. So we just went there and found him. There is a story. Maybe someday I'll tell you that story. Yeah.
All right.
So this is, you
use this as an example to show how far a simple hello can go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a simple compliment or just a simple greeting.
Yeah.
It really can just be life changing.
I mean, I thought he looks muscular, but he's not gonna punch me if I say, hey. Nobody. That's why I say most people on this planet are
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So thank you for showing me another side, because sometime even Queen has been telling me, so what will you do home? I say, oh, when I go home, in my last 10 minutes in my walk, I've been thinking, what the heck I'm going to eat tonight? I'm so selfish. That's all I'm thinking. And he said, no, you should do this, you should do it. I started writing a book, and I've never completed it.
Yeah.
But then again, the concept, shit, if I write that book, it'll be all about me.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I don't
Yeah.
want to write it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. There are many publishers from Boston, New York. They call me. Where are you on that? wait, I'm working on it. I'm thinking about it. So, but again, I want to stay happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy
That's a
every
good
day.
goal of life.
Yeah.
When I go to Starbucks on this campus,
Yeah.
the Illinois Union, those girls, the moment they see me walking through, my coffee is ready.
Wow.
Really?
And
That's awesome.
they said, you bring energy to it.
Right.
Nobody
Yeah.
smiles and talks to us. I said, how are you?
Yeah.
What did you do? So today I asked one girl, what did you do? How was your Thanksgiving? How was your Wisconsin? Oh, you remember I went to Wisconsin? I said, yeah,
Yeah.
From
The-
Illinois, you'll either go to Wisconsin or Iowa. So
Right.
I was right. She said, you are so funny. Oh my gosh. And other day I was at Rick's
Oh, really? Yeah.
last week. And then, we were drinking. And then a big group came in. They all group work in American Airlines at Champaign Airport. And then, but there is this lady, she always helps me. She doesn't look at my passport. The moment I walk, she gives me my boarding pass. She trusts me.
Yeah.
And he knows
Yeah.
that he's a professor and all that thing. So one time, the one guy said, oh, come on. You didn't look at his
Right.
passport. And then she said, I know him for last 10 years. He flies every week out there. So she was there, and I thought I'd take an opportunity to offer her a drink.
Yeah.
And then her name is Patty. I said, Patty, I always wanted to, you always help me. If the flight is canceled, you always help me. And I never bring a gift for you.
Right.
And, here you're all, first time I see you out here, can I buy you a drink? He said, yeah, but we are like 10 people here. I said, oh, I'll buy for everybody. What does it? So then this guy sitting here, he said, I took your class.
Really?
Wow.
God, the world is so small.
Yeah, that's
I
amazing.
The world
know.
is so
And
small.
then I said, did you pass? I said, yeah, I passed with an A. I said, oh my God, I'll change your grade to make it an F. I mean, I so much enjoyed getting to know him.
Yeah.
And
That's
I had
awesome.
250 students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know everybody. It's
Right.
an online class. And then that's what he...
That's amazing.
Everyone is I think everyone's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everybody's
Exactly.
enjoyable.
Your job is to bring the best of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna
Yes.
You're gonna reflect.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yes.
if you go up and be super nasty to someone, they're gonna be super nasty back.
They may not, but it'll come back to
Yeah,
you.
it will.
Someday,
Yeah.
someday,
Karma.
not that person may be a nice person.
Yeah.
But so they may not think of doing anything bad because
Right.
their parents taught
Right.
them to
Right.
be good.
But they'll know in the back of their mind that
They
it's coming.
don't have to know, but you will get for what you did to
Yep.
him.
Karma.
Karma.
Yes.
Karma's
Exactly.
real. Karma's real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True thing.
It'll come back. They said, you will reap what you sow.
Yes. Yep. Very true.
So, and those things, a lot of people said that before. None of those are dumb talks.
Yeah.
People said those little sentences from life experiences. So, yes, my friend, thank you so much to both of
you
you.
so much. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Peace, everyone.